wrong. And
Yeah.
we teach them. There's just a lot of things, especially on holidays, that we have to teach them. We're required to to teach them, and they're completely missed it. And they don't learn that until college. And it's,
Oh, I'm still getting some programs by myself. Hold on. Watch out. Thank you. Yeah. Well, you get this first day you're in line, waiting for your lunch. Hello. Yeah.
Well, nice to see you again.
Good to see you. Sorry if I freaked you out before at the gate or anything.
No, it's fine. I was just surprised they were coming, and then I had to make the decision. I'm like, are they supposed to be here? They're not supposed to be here, because if they're not supposed to be here, I'm going to close the gate.
Yeah, no, we're supposed to be
Yeah,
here.
I was pretty.
We're property
I was
owners.
pretty sure. She said a series of numbers when she called out to me at first about which lock it was, and I was like, okay, I can let them through. I'll be polite and stuff. But like, if I thought you weren't supposed to be there, I would have closed the gate, because.
No, you should. Please do. Because, yeah.
Hi, but I'm from the United States Census Bureau.
Oh, good.
And
good,
I was
good.
mostly just clearing out all those empty houses because they were in the burned house. It was still on the census, so I had to. Really? And it's been down for 20 years, and I had it on my list today. So I had to get it off the list.
Yeah.
And I found a witness to tell me it was burned down 20 years ago, and that was what I needed.
God bless you for what you're doing. I mean,
Thank you, I'm trying.
You need it bad.
We're only at 70%. We're gonna get cut on funds so bad if we can't hurry this up.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah. Well, so we do not have the legitimate physical address. My wife has hers in Aurora.
Okay.
We are here, technically,
Okay.
but we don't have a building permit yet, so we're not going to be on the census for this address. But
Where are you registered for the census?
in Aurora.
Okay, then that is okay.
Yeah,
like
but
at least
I-
you're getting counted.
But I want to ask if
What?
in the future, when we do get a building permit and we are using this address, I know it's going to be 10 years, but does that happen automatically?
No, you refill out, because we don't assign people to addresses.
Right.
We only take addresses from the counties and the states,
Okay.
and we don't take any of the names.
All right.
So what we do is then we go to any livable building or building that was livable in the county records at some point, and we check building by building who was where, and that's especially important on times like now, where a bunch of people got stuck where they weren't supposed to be during COVID.
Yep.
So we have to find out who was where so that we only count them once, and that's why we collect the information we do.
That's why I was
So
wondering.
as far as the census goes, for you getting your taxes applied to this area,
Yeah, that'll happen next time.
that would happen next time. You'd fill it out, for that address,
Okay.
and there are ways to change it. Like if you want your taxes to go here this year, but it's slightly tricky.
It won't happen this year. We had 3 addresses because we were in Chesapeake, but we were also in New Jersey, and we were also behind at the same
The
time.
census usually just cares how many people were in a house on April 1st.
Yep.
So you were just all 3 places April 1st?
Yeah, we took care of it, but I'm trying to figure out for the next time.
Next time, just you can make the choice of submitting it earlier, and then you get to pick where your taxes go. Otherwise, if a census worker has to come find you, they're going to ask, where were you April 1st?
Cool.
So just get it done before the census date, and then you get to pick where that tax money goes.
Awesome.
So that's how that works. And but yeah, we're just trying to get the count done because this area is already hurting and it's gonna get undercounted.
Yeah.
We have 83 people here from San Antonio, Texas, trying to help us complete this area because it's just that undercounted.
Well, thanks again.
No, thank
And
you.
Joseph, I'll see you. Hey, by the way, just call on me.
Okay.
There's rubber washer self-tapping screws.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
So just call on me.
All right.
Oh,
Cool.
dot.
Good to get to know you guys better.
Just making sure.
All right. Hey, thanks again.
No, thank you.
Have a great day.
See ya.
Good night. Again, I will try to say very clearly in case not, so you don't want people coming back.
Okay.
And I'm sorry that it's.
I want. You know what? It's funny. I would willfully submit any information you wanted if I found that there was no violation of rights going on in what you guys are doing.
So-
That's my big.
So, would it be a violation of rights to know how many individuals were there?
No, but it would be for you to continue to ask. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I actually see what you're saying.
So like,
But
and I
it's
actually, may I
frustrating.
ask, because what color is this
Color?
voting district or whatever?
This is one of the split districts.
Is it one of those split ones?
This one is split ones.
Yes, because if it became blue, then I would be interesting to see, because I haven't met a person who was blue here. That's what would be weird about it.
Would you, I've spent some time out of the country in Canada and in England and Sweden. Those blue and red are reversed in those places. Could you remind me, please, which color blue is here?
Yeah, it's liberal.
Really? You haven't met any liberals? Green Mountain Falls is chock full of them. I know that for sure.
Green Mountain Falls is I've heard that before, that word.
Manitou, all liberal.
Yeah, the towns.
Yeah.
So do you know how like city-states work?
I know how old.
Like country folk, the reason
city-
they're red, the real reason they're red, they are,
I thought it was simply because the education was worse out here.
well, what if you want to self-educate your kids? What if you think that you have a better capability of critical thought than the school system?
Then you should
And
absolutely self-educate
You have
your
a
kids.
potent community here that
I
loves
just
each other.
thought that a lot of reason rural areas kind of went red is because their districts were so underfunded.
I think it might be because they were fraud.
Fraud?
It's hard to say. But the history of the city-state, what city in all of history, like mega city, was able to feed itself?
Rome.
Rome was not able to feed itself.
Really?
Rome was able to suck everyone else dry and feed itself.
Oh, you
But,
mean
like,
sustainably?
Sustainably. Maybe like downtown New York, just one block.
Oh, because I was
They've
gonna
got
say
the
like
experimental
the
buildings.
last time I heard of that was like Mesopotamia.
It's you have automatic redistribution of wealth, and I don't mean from the rich to the poor. I mean from one community to another. When you do that, so sure you get people. A lot of people are the stereotypical red, like they don't
So
understand.
you're saying this area is
They're
really
not
super,
educated.
conservative?
Oh hell yeah!
Oh goodness, that's kind of scary.
Well, I wouldn't say it's scary.
Well, I mean,
They're not gonna like rob you.
I definitely work. The only people who pulled guns on me.
Oh,
so
pulled
far-
guns on you?
The only people that pulled guns on me in this job so far were flying American flags.
Hmm.
So
Well,
it's
did they
kind
shoot you?
No, I have not been shot at, but I've
Okay.
been threatened with a weapon, and
Yeah.
But-
Well, again, I'm letting you know ever so kindly what you're doing in spite of all the codified statute on top of law is you are in effect violating their rights. In their most tiny, a man's home is his castle. Like that's the last place that you want to go to somebody who understands their rights. Who understands their rights. These rights were not established to support the city-states. The city-states, inevitably, because of their nature, because of the nature of greedy bureaucrats, I don't know, that might be stereotyping, but
that robber barons were a thing.
yeah, well, it is a thing. You go to the DMV, if you understand what they're really doing, and if you get them, maybe when they're after hours and you stand on your rights, they're going to ask you to leave, and they'll try to threaten you with the fallacy of the big stick, big time. So you just mentioned guns. That's what's scary to me is the people who have in the guns who are those big governments. And the only place I can get away from that apparently is here. But what happened? You showed up. Boom. It's terrifying, but the city-state requires the country in order to survive. The country does not require the city-state in order to have anything except for protection. Protection invariably falls on its own sword. That's why Rome fell.
So what you're saying is that there should be some decentralization because
Decentralization is scary. I'm into that though. I've got decentralized cryptocurrency.
more like I was saying that you should think the government shouldn't be in charge of a area's funding. Is that what? Is
It's
that kind
difficult
of
to
what
have autonomy of wealth, of I don't know what it would be called. Well, then are you saying taxes are illegal? I mean, do you really understand the law as far as taxes?
But I know
No,
that
I mean everyone knows that
know
taxes are wrong.
the purpose of the census is to figure out which area gets how much representation and how much money.
Distribution of the wealth.
What you're saying is that we should do
Of the
away with
scrap of the
how
wealth.
we're distributing the wealth.
I don't. Why do you have the right to distribute the wealth? Who gave you that
That's what I'm
right?
saying. That's why you're saying we should get rid of that system. But then what would replace it?
Well, you guys in the city, you all need that. We don't need that here.
I have chickens and rabbits, and I live in Green Mountain Falls. So
Excuse me, I am making a generalization. Do you live in the city?
No.
Okay, but are you self-sustaining?
Not yet.
Okay, but
Mom's trying.
so you're in effect living in a city-state.
Okay.
Apologize.
No,
And so am I, because I can't escape it. Huh? Sorry, we're talking law. So I'm probably gonna get in trouble.
oh no, you should don't get into
You need to understand. I don't understand what's going on right now in the world.
I don't.
You might not either. We have peace here. I don't know if knowing your rights anymore means anything. I am terrified of the judiciary. I am terrified of the city-state coming here telling us we can't go away from them if we want to. I don't want to have slave papers when I go into town. I don't like going into town right now. You guys have a tough job. You're just trying to earn your money. I hope we learn something from each other.
I wrote down some the keywords that I need to Google.
Yeah, I got some bigot because I was far to the left. And actually, as a immediate result of knowing my rights, seeing what's been going down the last couple of years, I won't say that I'm bleeding red now, which is to say Republican, but I will say that I now understand, as we discussed, the city-state. I understand that lineage of law. I understand that lineage of law has always existed to protect the little person and their peaceful establishment from big government coming and knocking more than once on their door.
Okay.
So, I'm Joseph.
I'm ready.
Can I shake your hand? I don't believe in the corona, but I have good statistical background and knowledge to know that the coronavirus is non-threatening and it's being used as a psyop or a political weapon. It's being weaponized. There may be a second wave, which is terrifying to think that they've come up with a second wave to already exist before it even happened. That indicates to me whether or not the second wave is real. The first wave is not. Study causality of comorbidity. You will find that nearly 100% of cases had comorbidity, which means they were going to die anyway. So math doesn't lie, but people do. I get terrified of when people don't want to acknowledge math. That's just like,
the
holy
WHO website
shit.
statistics would support what you were saying. The World Health Organization statistics.
Yeah.
It's really generally the elderly that die and not anybody else.
Well, the elderly are going to die anyway, and they weaponize that against us. My parents are among the elderly. I am very concerned. I was very concerned before I looked at the data. And also understood the complex geopolitical reasons why, and it's a couple of scenarios for me, why they might have occurred. None of them are non-nefarious, meaning to say this, whether it was a bioweapon or whether it was a hoax, it doesn't matter. It was or whether they just took fear and ran with it. We're wearing masks for 6 months now. That is terrifying. My right to express myself, my First Amendment right to show you my face, has been completely and utterly denied in the popular culture. Which is to say, something that will go in and out of style when it benefits whoever happens to be in charge of the city-state at the time.
Though I will say on a personal note that
You know somebody?
I usually get sick about every month.
Oh.
Or twice a month. And it's been really nice. I haven't been sick in 6 months. It's
Really?
just since people are being more careful, I'm not getting cold or the flu every 2
Well, do you know? Have you ever heard that story, the boy in the bubble?
That your immune system should get stronger with repeated exposure, but
Well, that's true.
I
Also,
don't seem to do very well. So it's
But-
just sort of really nice to not get sick.
well, it is nice to not get sick. I agree with you. But the boy in the bubble is a wonderful story. You might be getting sick for reasons you don't believe. You might be getting sick because of that very same city state we've been talking about,
Possibly.
making you sick and then making you believe that they've got the cure. I don't know.
I
That's why
definitely-
we're trying to grow our own
One
food
of
out
the
here.
reasons we started growing our own food is because I thought I had a soy allergy, and it turned like I can eat raw, totally like naturally grown soy. But
Okay.
there's some kind of preservative that's actually hurting me in a lot
Yes.
of foods, and
It's not natural.
just avoiding it, I can eat nearly anything I want as long as it's not prepackaged or injected or just various things like that.
Yeah.
Like I got a lot healthier. I missed a lot of high school for being sick, and I got a lot healthier once we started doing our own meat, especially baking our own bread.
I think of it like this, okay? You are naive if you think there are not people in the world who view you as a pawn, okay?
Well, I'm sure there are because they
And
have billions of dollars.
Do you know about big food, big medicine?
Absolutely.
The Big Six media.
The CDC the Health, Food and Drug Administration is totally and completely corrupt, and it's been gutted, and all of its like regulations it used to have that were decent, some of them were decent.
Oh, they're not there to
It's
protect
horrible.
you.
It's horrible now. It's
You hear
all
the
horrible.
Bilderberg Group?
No.
Really? Bilderberg? Or like Davos? Those are the people who are planning everything. You think you've got original thoughts?
Probably not all that much, because.
And I mean to say all of us do. I do also. I think I have original thoughts.
I think my only original thoughts are daydreams about fantastical stories.
And that's your inner child. That's you. That's your inner you.
That is my favorite part of the day. I go home and I write, and it has nothing to do with anything modern.
What are you gonna be when you grow up?
As I said, I've been doing substitute teaching in first grade.
Okay,
COVID,
that's
and
right. You
then
told me that.
I would really like to be a psychologist that works with autistic kids.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of kids that are misunderstood but are brilliant, and if they don't just get talks, then they can end up with really good lives.
Oh, we're living in a time where there are blooms. They call it blooms, right? But why are those blooms occurring? It is cool though. I think that those blooms are creating these unusual minds. They're going to be creating new things that we've never seen before.
There's a wonderful Japanese story. I don't have the names on me, but there's a wonderful Japanese study. They've been doing a longitudinal study for the past 10 years, and they actually think that autism is a response to our current society. It's not just chemical caused, just not environmental. They think it's actually a developmental trait, because one of the big things that in our current day society that really hurt people are loneliness, lies, social interaction, and autistic kids are really good at telling lies. They don't really get lonely ever, and they don't have the same need for social interaction, and they're excellent at crunching numbers. They're excellent at autistic kids have all these traits that are actually super important in modern
They seem to
society.
have big hearts. Sometimes capacity for big hearts. I've also seen some cold hearts coming out of it.
But they have a lot of inborn traits that are super useful in our modern society, and there's these Japanese researchers are essentially trying to state that autism is actually, even though we're not accepting it and we're treating these kids poorly in our schools and not giving them what they need, but it's actually a developmental response to our current day society. The traits are getting picked that are actually helping if we let them help. That's the Japanese study, and it's one of my favorite studies I've read so far on autism.
That's very optimistic.
It is. A lot of things out of Japan are optimistic, but
Yeah, well, they're very forward thinking. I want to say I've never been there.
But it is. Most of the not all of it is available online because it's from a paid journal, but a lot of it is available online to read. The number part is only half available, but you can get the abstract, you can get the core of the case, you can get the conclusion, and half of the numbers. It was in a medical journal, a national medical, not an international medical journal, and
Yeah.
it's out of Japan. You can probably find it by keywords, but I thought it was very enlightening how they've been at this particular project, and how many cases they've been researching,
Uh-huh.
and watching these kids grow up, and seeing that they do very well. They don't have some of the same issues that cause, for instance, the high suicide rate in Japan.
Yeah.
So that was
Huh.
a thing. I'll get out of your hair so you don't get in trouble.
Oh, yeah, thanks. My pleasure.
I really will try
I'm
to
Joseph.
I'm Ryan. I'll try to write every indication if I can possibly manage to get them to knock down.
Yeah, I mean, bring it.
I have to have a human
like, here's
read
the funny
case
thing:
notes.
if I wasn't lazy, I could sue so many corporate government entities for anything I wanted. I don't have time to assert my rights. That's what sucks, is that they have made us so complacent to this rat race. I'm sure maybe I want to think you're talking to me now because you want to as a person. But at the same time, you're working your butt off, right? You're getting paid, and everybody has to work their butt off. I was in the 99th percentile in the 4th grade. They threw me in all these advanced programs. Sometimes I'm barely surviving in the way that it's set up with what we talked about, and I don't know who to point at, and I don't have time to point, and I don't have time to assert my rights, and I don't want to bankrupt the system in the process. Okay.
I will just say, all of my European friends have 5-hour or 6-hour work days, and they don't work 5 days a week.
Oh,
so it's just kind of
that debt, tax burden. What is it called? Look up lag, economic lag. What is it called? Socialism. The benefits die off after a lag period.
Okay.
And that's why, I mean, you got to figure out where the money's coming from. If it's coming from an unfair tax rate that shouldn't exist in the first place. I don't know. Like, we could get into taxes. Lineage of law. My pleasure. Good luck on your journey. Oh, do you know, where are you going? Woodland Park?
I came from that direction, but I'm headed to Woodland Park.
You got through the gate?
Yeah.
Woodland Park. Yeah. So you'll turn left at this first tee, past the boathouse. One sec, hon, are you alright? I'm just helping her get out now. Sorry, we didn't move here that long ago. Please don't write that down. Let's see.
The only thing I could have possibly needed tonight with a case standing this long open is just simply how many people.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah, I until I slipped just then, I don't think I answered any questions. You should learn to do that, by the way. If you know how to do that, you can survive in this.
I'm not even putting down the name the guy said.
Yeah, that I also slipped. I shouldn't have done that. I was just being personable.
I'm not putting it down. I'm not being personal. Put it down, but.
Yeah, I know about the New World Order. You should too. That's why a police officer can pull you over
Left
for.
turn?
Yeah. That's why a police officer can pull you over for anything and hold you there. Even though most people don't know, 20 minutes is the max. Left, and then. Shit.
It's okay. I'll
I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah. So you're going past the stone gate, right? And then you keep going, and then it'll get to. You take a right at the fork. That's right. The first fork you get to, past the stone gate, is a right.
I've never been on this road before, so I don't know how to figure it out.
Yeah. First tee you get to, past the stone gate, take a right, and then after that it's. Florissant?
Are we in Florissant?
You can get to, when you get to that 4-way crossing in the middle of Pike Forest, it's like a Pike Forest trailhead.
Okay.
You can go either to Florissant or Divide. Divide will take you to Woodland Park.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Good luck. Take care. Yeah.